Oh, stay. Stay. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back on my roof again for another little chit chat with you guys. But I just wanted to bring you a life update. We are on the very last day of 2017. I went on a long nature run or nature time this morning and I'm still wearing half of the outfit that I was wearing this morning, so I'm still kind of sweaty, and it is getting closer to the evening time. A lot of people are probably running around trying to get on their getting their dresses and dressing up, putting makeup on, and you know, places to be, people to meet. And I think this year I was trying to decide what I wanted to do, and I was like, maybe go out, maybe stay in. I think this year I'm gonna X out of the dressing up and going out and partying and all of that. But I just wanted to update you guys on everything that's happened the past couple months. I promised you guys that video. You guys are aware that I did post a video about, I think it was 4 months ago, you know, what had happened with me and Zach, and then some details of that, and then I took the video down. And a lot of you that did see the video did know or did hear that I was thinking of moving and relocating to Southern California. And I know I've been seeing a lot of you asking me, what happened to moving? Are you still moving? Like, what's going on? If it's anything that I've learned in the past year, and especially in the past couple months, is never, ever, ever, ever make a permanent decision off a temporary emotion. And all of you can relate with me that when something happens in your life, doesn't even have to be related to relationships. It can be anything that's upsetting, gets you angry, sad, depressed, whatever it is. A lot of times we act immediately on that emotion. We do something and then we immediately regret it. Most of us anyway. And you know, it was one of those things, is I was kind of back and forth with this whole buying a house and relocating to Southern California, and deep down inside of me I was a little hesitant. And you know, hence why I did remove the video, because I didn't want it to be a set thing that I was doing, because I didn't even know with myself. I had talked about it, but at that time I was very hurt and angry, and I'm so grateful that I did not make a decision right then and there and followed through with it. 3 or 4 months, I did go through a real estate company, and I did go through the whole process to find out what I would qualify for as being a new homeowner. And in that time, I was able to really process through my emotions, process through what had happened, really understand and focus on myself and what I really, really wanted. Also in that process, I was learning what you go through to be qualified for a home. And so I did get my options. I was good to go. I could go with it, and I was approved for a loan, and I really didn't want to move. I really don't want to move. My life is here, and a lot of you don't know, I live in Northern California. I live up in the mountains, Auburn, California. So it's a small town compared to like Southern California. I look at the long term of everything too. I don't just look at just right now, and that's what I did through that time. Is I knew if I moved, it might have been really exciting at the time, starting something new, but like I talked about in my recent video about facing life, is it would have just been masking what I was going through right at that time, and especially because it was very intense at that time. And I knew if I had moved and been somewhere else, that would have worn off. I would have truly been unhappy, and I would have missed home. I would have wanted to come home, but then I would have been locked in to where I was. And that's the last thing that I wanted. So I look at all that long-term stuff. I don't look at just right now. And so I'm very grateful and proud of myself for taking the time and being very rational with the situation versus just being like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Because, you know, it might work for some people, that maybe having a huge change and relocating like that might work for some people, and it really brought something for you in your life. But I know for me, and that was kind of the goal over the past few months, was really focusing on what did I want for myself. Doesn't matter all the opinions and coming from everybody else. What it really comes down to is, what did I want for my own self? And I took that time to understand that, process it, understand it, and make the decisions for me, not for anyone else, but for me and me alone. So with that being said, I decided not to move, at least for now. You know, I don't know what the future holds, but I truly believe right now is not the right time, especially with what's going on in my personal life. And I'm not going to go into details because I think those details are for me and me alone, and only the people that are involved. A lot has happened this last year, good and bad. I truly believe that there's a lot of things that I needed to face, and I needed to face head on. That doesn't mean running away, changing locations. I needed to basically stay in the hard situation and face the problem. Like, actually face it, face myself, face the fear, face the discomfort, face it all, because I truly believe when you face, you know, whatever you're going on through in your life, if you actually face it, learn from it, learn how to get through it and overcome it, you become a stronger person. And when you get faced with that situation again, you're going to be able to handle it better. You're going to be able to make the better and more right decisions when it comes to that situation. The last thing I wanted to do was repeat a pattern. And this could be of my own self or the situation I was in. I didn't want to repeat it. I don't want to repeat the past. I don't want to end up in this vicious cycle where, you know, you have something that happens, and even if you were in the right or the wrong, it doesn't matter. We're brought to that point for a reason, and you learn from it, because it might happen again down the road. And the last thing I wanted to do was keep repeating this pattern in the future. Especially being in a 10-year relationship, one thing that I've learned, 10 years is not easy to walk away from. Any one of you that is watching this currently right now, and you've been in you know, a 10, 15, 20 year, even longer marriage, relationship, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of those things is you start reflecting on a lot of things, and you realize what the other person was doing, and you also realize what you were doing. If you're open to it, if you are open to look at that, there are faults on both aspects. Both people are involved. Both people are suffering, in their own way. There's two people. It's not just one-sided, ever in a situation. I'm going to admit that, you know, I am still in love with Zach. I am very in love with him. Ooh. Obviously, I get like so emotional. Okay. Before a lot of you, you know, say, oh, it's just because it's comfort, it's because of something you're used to, you know, how do you know that it really is love? You know, once anger wears off, once hurt wears off, and, you know, you start, you know, actually looking at the bigger picture, and you start self-reflecting, and you also, you know, taking care of yourself, you start to realize a lot of things. And regardless of what has happened, I truly care about Zach. I truly care about his well-being, and I want him to be okay, and I want him to be happy. No matter what. No matter if we're together or not. And the last thing that I want to do is add suffering to someone's life, even my own, doesn't matter, because of my own hurt. I just want him to be happy too, and of course in my own self. And so in that time, I did take full separation and take a lot of time for myself, and focused on healing, focused on my own faults, my own insecurities, any, you know, doubt I had, any you know, confidence that I lost, any self-love that I have lost. I had to refine that again. And don't get me wrong, I still have a lot of long road ahead of me. I think that's what life is. You're always constantly working, you're always, you know, growing, you're always evolving. when you have self-love for yourself and you forgive yourself and you've overcome your own issues, you realize that you can look at someone else and you aren't as judgmental. You're understanding that nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, and you take responsibility for yourself, your own actions, your own emotions, your own decisions, your choices, everything. And you do that for yourself, and you see that, you know, you're gonna be more compassionate to somebody else, especially if they do it for themselves too. And that's kind of what I've been learning this past few months. If I was gonna move, it was only gonna be to get away. It was only gonna be to temporarily fix the emotions I was feeling at that moment. And the problems wouldn't have been fixed. I would have been still upset, but in a different place. And my life is here. And my friends, my family, my support system, they are all here. And why remove yourself from that? You know, it might work for some people, but I know for my own self, you know, I really had to understand that and figure that out with myself, and I did. You know, it didn't happen right away, and I was like, oh my God, I just want answers. Still don't have all the answers. But, you know, it took a good 4 months. It doesn't seem like 4 months. It seems like freaking forever. But, you know, a lot of stuff came to light. A lot of stuff started unraveling in a good way. You know, but it was because I was very diligent and very on top of staying grounded, taking the higher road, working on myself. And that was the hardest part, was staying focused on me and me alone. And guys, I know it's not easy, but it is possible. And the more you do it, the easier it does get. But I had come to realize that, you know, that I was like, it was going to be a wrong choice if I did that. So I am actually very happy with staying here. I certainly don't know what's going to happen in my future. I don't know what's going to happen with me and Zach. I don't know if, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have those answers. I am just trying to stay focused on right now and the present and making the right decisions, for myself, and slow, not doing anything rash, and, you know, working on those things, not even just for the sake of, you know, I don't know if me and Zach will get back together or not, or another relationship in the future. I don't want to keep repeating these same patterns. So I really want to fix what went wrong and have something better in the future. That is my goal right now. That is my focus right now. And you know, if I can do it, I know any of you can do it too. So if any of you are currently struggling right now, or trying to decide if you should get back together with a significant other or not, take the time, really focus on yourself. Don't focus on the other person and what they're doing. If you're having any struggles at all, focus on trying to fix those first before going back. You know, take as much time as you need. Fix what's going on with you. Fix the problem that got you there in the first place before going, and instead of just covering it up, brushing it under the rug, and going back and then repeating it again. We're also on to another part of the biggest reason why I don't want to move is the gym, the NutriShop. A lot of you that do know, a lot of you that don't know, me and Zach have been partners in owning our gym, Life Altering Fitness, going on almost 9 years now. And we just recently, a little over a year ago, added the NutriShop, the supplement store. We've built that empire together, and I was almost off emotion going to throw that away, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because that gym is a part of me. It's a part of my life. I've put so much into it, and also the people that come there, not even the members, or just a lot of you that come visit me and want to say hi, like it's a special place. And I was gonna throw all that away over emotion. And again, I'm so proud of myself that I didn't. I took a step back and took things very slow, made the appropriate changes I needed to at that time, but I made it work. I figured it out. And, you know, I can't tell each and every one of you, this is what you need to do exactly. I had to figure it out on my own and alone. And I did figure it out. I figured out how to make it work. And over that time, I realized, I'm like, this is my life, and I'm not ready to give that up. and I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what's gonna happen, you know, tomorrow, the next week, in a month, in a year. I don't know. I just know what's happening right now, and I know how far I've come. And knowing how far I've come and all the work that I've put in, I know what I'm capable of, and I know the strength that I have, even though half the time I feel like I don't. Half the time I feel like I don't even know what I'm doing. But you know, it's one of those things, is you're diligent and you always stay focused on now and moving forward. Things work out. They do. It's so crazy. I can't even begin to try to put that in words, but you know, if you're focused and you keep working towards the right reasons, the right things start happening. And they start happening in your favor, and they start happening in a good way. I don't know how it happens and how fast it happens. It happens in its own time, but it's what you're constantly putting your time and energy into, and what your focus is on. If you're constantly focusing on, you know, the bad things that have happened, all you're doing is focusing on the past, and you're going to keep reliving your past. And I know all of us, all of us, we want happiness, we want to be okay, we want to feel good, we want things to work out, you know? And so you have to focus on those things. Sometimes we have to go through some horrible, horrible storms, and we don't know how long, we don't know when these storms are going to let up. I can tell you right now that 2017, it was a very, very intense storm for me, but I don't regret any of it. The person that I am now, I have grown so much this last year, and I thought I was a pretty grown-up person a year ago, but man, life is crazy. What it puts you through, and if you're willing to, you know, grow from it, learn from it, evolve from it, the person that you can become and constantly be becoming, it never ends. It never ends. And life is just, it's crazy. You never know what's gonna happen. So I talked about this on my Instagram post. I said, whether you've pushed me or pulled me, fueled me or drained me, loved me or left me, hurt me or helped me, you know, every single one of those people have been a part of my growth, have been part of my journey. And, you know, to be honest, the way I look at it is, I thank all those people. I thank every single situation, because I would not be who I am right now if it wasn't for that. If I isolated myself, if I never let myself experience the happiness or the sadness or the anger or the hurt or any of those things, I would not be who I am right now, and I would not be able to handle the things the way I do right now. I would not be in going this direction in my life. Wow, the sky is so pretty right now. I have to show it to you. Look at that sky. Wow. What I get to witness right now. Oh my goodness. So amazing. I'm getting illumination right now. But this is how I'm looking at life and everything that's happened. And you know, we're going into this new year, and a lot of us are going to be setting, you know, New Year's resolutions. And, you know, I think, you know, setting goals for yourself is awesome. But I truly feel you have every single day of your life to start new, to start over. And it doesn't matter, you know, you have 365 days out of every single year that you don't have to wait for January 1st to, you know, start something. You know, I think that it's just being truly grateful that you have another year to keep growing, to keep progressing. And you know, whatever you've learned this past year, good or bad, you're carrying it on to another year, that you are going into another year, you know, being grateful for that. You know, a lot of us have a lot, and some of us don't have anything. You know, some of us might have lost a lot this last year or gained a lot, you know, having the experience. And that you're on to another year to just add on to that experience, to add on to that growth. And you know, I personally don't have any specific New Year's resolutions for 2018. I'm just excited that I can keep growing and I can keep building onto what I've already been doing. And you know, every year's different. Every year's, you never know what's going to happen. And you do set out, you know, with one goal, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but that doesn't mean that you failed. It doesn't mean that, oh, the year's shot, it's ruined. It just means, you know, that's how it went. So learn from it, grow from it. It's okay not to be strong all the time. It's okay not to be positive all the time. I know that I'm not always that way. But you know, I try to do the best I can. And like I said in my Facing Life video a few posts back, it's what you're constantly practicing every day, what you're constantly focusing on and putting your time and energy into. I want to be happy. I want to be okay. I want to overcome my own insecurities, my own fears, my own anything that I'm struggling with. I want to grow from it. I want to overcome it, and I want to be better. I want you guys to know too, every day I still have the emotion ocean. There's some days where I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm what direction I'm going, and I'm upset and I'm crying. But usually that's based off, if you're tired too, you're not going to be able to hold your emotions together very well at all. And then there's days that you're feeling rested, you're feeling good, things are going your way, you're like, yeah, I'm feeling really good, I could take on the world. It just depends, but I know I do still have a long road ahead of me, and you know, I'm not going to deny that at all or try to cover that up. Keep on climbing that, and I'm not going to be going backwards. And keep on climbing, keep on going. Just before I recorded this video, you know, I was out running and I was like, yeah, feeling good, and then I get back and I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, I start crying, and then I'm like, all right, I feel good again, you know. We have moments like that, and that's okay. I think the biggest key to remind you guys is, you know, I talked about this in the previous video, is the temporary fillers. And you know, don't get me wrong, there's been plenty of times where I've been by myself and I'm like, I would love to have attention. I would love to have, you know, another guy or even Zach or somebody to love on me, you know, but the last thing I wanted to do was rush to somebody else to fill that temporary need, you know. It's just at that moment, because then there's other times I'm like, I don't need anybody, I'm good. And then there's times where I do feel very lonely and I do want that attention, but you know what, I'm like, you know what, the only way I'm going to become stronger from this, and I'm going to be able to become stronger, confident woman, is I'm going to face it. I'm going to face the loneliness. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to figure out how to be comfortable with myself and be okay with being alone. And when you think about, if you can be okay with that when you do have a relationship again, imagine how amazing that relationship could be. Oh my God, like, I think about stuff like that. Everything I'm going through right now is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to face in my life. But what I've accomplished this past year is truly amazing, and I am actually so proud of myself, and that's where you know what you're capable of. And wow, what we're capable of as human beings, we blind ourselves to that. So I'm just telling you right now, you guys, if you're going through anything right now, face it head on. I'm telling you, the rewards that you will benefit from by doing that, words can't even describe. You guys will just have to experience it for yourself. And if you want it, go after it. We only have a few hours left in 2017, but I just want to wish you guys a happy new year. And I just also wanted to thank you guys so much for being a part of my journey. A lot of it's been very, very raw. You know, and I've shared a lot of personal things with you guys as well, but I just want you guys to know I appreciate the amount of respect and support that I have gotten from all of you has been unreal. I expected, especially when things got rough, that there was going to be a lot of negativity or a lot of really judgmental and hurtful people, but I am still like taken back by the respect that you guys have shown me and shown Zach. And everything that's happened. I mean, I'm blown away. Like, I really am, and I can't express that enough, how much I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, thank you so much. And I'm really excited to, you know, continue my journey and you guys to be a part of that. I wanted to wish you guys a very happy new year. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you guys next year. Happy New Year, you guys, and I will see you on the next video.